Okay, y'all, so welcome back for another Tarot Tuesday transmission. I'm Dil Divine, your friendly neighborhood Pure Muse, Oracle, and Soul Coach. And today I'm going to be pulling cards, really calling in particular ancestor and angel energies. However, this is an invitation, call in your divine team in this now, your highest and holiest self, whatever resonates for you, so that essentially we want to call in clarity, insight, and inspiration. And although if this message finds you and you feel really drawn to watch and listen, likely there's something here for you. I am setting an intention though to channel messages for those who identify as creatives, artists, authors, writers, um, dancers, singers, actors, muses. Essentially, this is to appeal to the creators and creatrixes, there we go, out there, those who have the creative calling and energy who are perhaps seeking to decrease resistance in regards to your creative expression, perhaps your creative output, your creative productivity, anything in regards to essentially putting your gift and or your work and or your talent out there more on the next level, all right? So we're going to get a mix of oracle cards and tarot cards to unlock and embrace this creativity on next layers and levels to allow in more success, more fulfillment, more joy, more growth, more evolution. And I invite you to breathe in and out of your heart space as we dial into today's Tarot Tuesday reading, calling upon these creative energies and forces for our highest and holiest good. Beginning with card from the Holy Metatron Self Mastery Oracle, the Archangel Metatron Self Mastery Oracle here. So I figured, all right, if we're going to get into our creative expression, let's call upon our mastery. Here we go. What do we got? Boundaries. Set them daily. Card 14. This card loves to come out in this deck. Okay, and I know what's going on. Boundaries are key. Notice that key there. Key is lock and unlock things. And it's up to us to have discernment on when do we need to lock certain things down, when do we need to use the key to unlock either new doors, new opportunities, healthy habits. I just saw 2, 3, 4 on the clock, so that's an affirmation, confirmation. What I'm feeling guided to share in this now is, especially because the tagline says set them daily. For many of us, in regards to this next layer and level of, I'm going to say creative expression to keep it easy, simple, and short. However, take whatever resonated earlier in this reading, in this transmission, for whatever creativity or project that's right under our nose, itch, is seeking to be released and come out. Affirmation. It's up to us to make moves in the direction of our dreams and goals and know when to shut or close a door behind us that does not serve us, as well as some things involve, a straight up letting go and move on. I am somebody who also believes, though, that not every channeled message is meant to be in the extremes and everything is meant to say, absolutely stop this, don't do that, do this fully. Like a lot of this, and I genuinely find with increasing layers and levels of mastery, it's more about moderation and balance and seeing what are the things and stuff that's completely done without whatever current version you're more or less and you're evolving into, you're embodying more and more for your highest and holiest good, versus what are things that are meant to be decreased maybe in this season or cycle, but not abandoned completely. I feel that for many of us in this now, and I've been getting and seeing pop-up videos on other social media kind of affirming and confirming this. If you identify as a multidimensional and multi-passionate being, especially if you are a creative entrepreneur, and or a creative person where you're not just doing one thing or you don't just have one talent or one gift. It's more so that you may find yourself either you are and or you're desiring to be more of a person where different seasons and cycles and different opportunities that pop up dictate more or less what you're focusing on. Not in a way that controls you. However, the opportunity of the season is where you put your greatest effort. So to make it really simple as a creative and as an actor, right? When I'm in the season of a play, what gets prioritized? Well, when it's rehearsal season in time, it's like, practicing lines on my own and putting that on the schedule, as well as ideally linking up with my colleagues and co-stars. And, and for those who are open to it, either meeting with them, whether in person or digitally, to practice our lines and build up our rapport that way. And that continues throughout the whole season. Right? But during the play season, there's increasing commitment to focusing on that task and project and passion at hand. And then when that play season wraps up, then it's about a little bit, of course, integration, rest, recuperation, and then seeing, okay, what is the next creative project, or what is the next way in which my spirit is being directed. So right now, my spirit has directed me to put more energy and focus into unlocking my voice and showing up with my voice more and developing it as an actual like instrument, if you will, and showing up for my spiritual business. 616 was just on the clock. That was significant. Showing up more for my spiritual business and channeled readings and building community digitally by returning to YouTube, returning to TikTok, returning to Facebook and various social media platforms with, as best as I can, consistent, albeit imperfect action. Shout out to the Conscious Business Accelerator and Full Time Purpose Program for blessing me up with that CCIA, consistent, committed, imperfect action. Like, shout out to Matt in particular, who kind of gifted us with that. It's like, show up for yourself and understand that your boundaries are going to flex over time. And especially if you are building them up, this one says set them daily is give yourself the grace to grow with them. Give yourself the grace to realize that, hey, on the route towards getting to that next benchmark, that next gate, that next gateway, that next portal, I'm feeling like, because we're coming through an archway right here and getting to the next one, and there's a big one like further ahead. Big glory by the time we get to Leo season and the serious portal, serious, yeah, serious, yeah, yeah. The fact that they're having me repeat this and serious came to me. Serious energies and affirmations. Thank you, Holy Mother Aset. Confirmations last night of Syrian connections, Syrian mission. So if you resonate with Sirius starseed energies and collectives, family in particular, then this transmission may be extra resonant with you. So Lionsgate is going to be a very, whenever this transmission finds you, whatever the next Lionsgate is from the time you see this is likely going to be very impactful for you. Should you allow yourself to heed the callings of your soul and move forward. Pardon me, they just had me channeling really fast and told me to take a breath. Day by day, continue to show up for yourself more. And sometimes there's an invitation here to remember that boundaries apply. We are being encouraged to apply healthy boundaries with other people as well as with ourselves. It is about the balance and the harmony. 14 is also associated with the Temperance card in the tarot. The Temperance card, major arcana card in the tarot. And temperance is often about moderation and balance. And a higher invitation for me is harmony. Spirit is inviting. Thank you, Holy Jesus. Balance out your rest, balance out your work or productivity, and balance out your play. You're so much more wiser than sometimes your insecurities or your doubt or your overthinking mind. And this is not a read or any disrespect. This is coming from a loving place. Spirit is acknowledging that it's like, hey, sometimes it's like your wheels just spin a little bit too fast and off kilter. And that's nothing to shame or shade yourself about. It's simply the energy is running wild because on the one hand, it's like you really are channeling a lot of pure potential energy and raw inspiration. However, it's about recalibrating yourself, coming more into a state of peace, engaging in habits that really fuel and refuel you and keep you in a healthy and balanced flow, and then taking inspired actions that come from being in a healthy flow, let alone intentionally doing things that get you into flow state. There's something about backing up the truck and while keeping the goals and intentions of expression and maybe production slash, I want to say, materialized creation. So more or manifested creation. So really apply this to your niche, to your artistry, to your field. So right, for an author, that might be either the written and or published book. For the poet, the poem. For the dancer, it could be the performance of the piece. For the choreography, it could be the conception of the piece, right? For the painter, it could be the final painting or mural brought to life. For the actor, it may be the audition, or it may be landing the gig, or it may be having the show. So apply it as it fits. Spirit is saying while keeping that end goal and end intention in mind. Like the end goal is in mind, and I'm not saying this to be annoying. I am hearing the message just like you've got to do the work along the way and have boundaries with yourself about it. And when I say do the work along the way, that that involves a mix of, of taking care of yourself, of checking in with spirit and your highest and holiest self and your guide, taking inspired actions, moving the needle with your projects, while at the same token not forcing it. There are times to take, yes, healthy effort and persevere and show up for your task. Like, for example, my goal right now, because we're always, many channelers, we don't share our truth to like aggrandize ourselves. We choose, especially if you're a trained facilitator, we share examples of ourselves because it's actually one of the ways of being the most respectful as well as safe for the audience we're connecting with and being genuinely relatable without like offending or projecting onto someone else. So for me, the way in which 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timer, we had 2, 3, 4, and now we just had 1, 2, 3, 4. The steps forward, y'all. Take the steps and show up for yourself and honor your commitments. Even if some of the nights it takes some literal praying, like I did, and asking my spirits and guides for the strength to show up because they wanted me, like I wanted to start with this return to YouTube, putting out a message for every Tuesday again, like showing up for the collective and channeling useful guidance and specifically like messages that are in response to what people have responded to me on my Facebook wall when I ask like, okay, what areas of life are you experiencing the most resistance? Where you experience, you want essentially more insight from spirit. So, and today I didn't really feel enthused to record earlier, and now I'm doing it at night. And yet, I feel like it happened in aligned timing. It took some perseverance, and yes, I had to say, I want to show up for my commitments. I've got to honor my boundaries with myself of taking and following through with certain inspired actions, especially after I take the time to fill up my cup. Fill up your cup and flow from there. We're going to get one more self mastery, and then we'll get some tarot to bring it down to earth, especially because, like, I know that channel about boundaries was extended. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have card 30, Silver, Warrior of the Light. So silver light, silver swords. Notice this sword rising up and out of the water. Powerful, radiant sword, silver. Moon powers, intuitive powers, emotional energy, and rebirth coming out of the water, rising up. This is rebirth energy. I'm almost getting like a collaborative energy of like, yes, Cancer season and emotional going in depths and healing with Scorpio energies of rebirth and support and Pluto energy of rebirth and coming up. Like a Pluto moon collaboration of support here. So there's something through, okay, yes. It's like with this rising up and with these boundaries, Fear is acknowledging, in some ways, you got to cut through your own crap and honor. It's like you got to cut through your own crap and cut through your own shadows. And with the full moon, it's like, it's almost like do what you need to do to be true to you. Take actions in alignment with the true version of yourself. And there's something about this being the moon. It's like the truest, most emotionally pure version of yourself. There's something about going through the depths of the shadows to get back to the core of your pure self. And then from there, it's almost like before the sun touches you, like Leo season. Yes, thank you, Holy Spirit, Leo season. It's like you have to emotionally walk forward in faith and like birth Cancer energy, this version of you. You know how like sometimes when there's a newborn, right? It's like there's a time, generally speaking, where maybe parents will keep the baby more or less close to home and not taking them out in the world for the first several weeks or introducing them to a lot of other people, characters, and energies. And it's because they want to give that newborn time to literally breathe and come into form in this world and be safe before being exposed to all of the however well-intentioned energies that want to bask in their light, in their glory. There's something about taking this time to be with the full moon energy of light. There's something about the emotional, personal space, and I want to say healthy solitude. Like, yes, you may be witness with those in your most intimate inner circle that you can trust in space. So I'm not saying everybody's going to be in total isolation, yet this is a time period in which shine and beam for the sake of you and move forward and beam in alignment with you. Like it's the warrior of light. That warrior energy is taking divine and sacred action in alignment with what is lit up for you, the path that's lit up for you, even in the quote unquote dead of night, even if it's with the moonlight first, before we get to the sunny day, darkness before the dawn. However, you're at a point where your darkness, you're illuminating it all. You are illumined, you're empowered, you're activated. Your boundaries and your daily practices are what's helping you to succeed, to move forward. There is an invitation and an emphasis here, though, to move forward and to be a bit of a warrior, like buck up, you know. And I'm not saying that to minimize you or be disrespectful at all. It's just like, yo, there's a certain layer and level where it's like, do your thing, like take inspired action, take a chance, resist the temptations for unnecessary stagnation, discern between when is the appropriate time and the amount of rest, relaxation, and restoration, and real nourishment and cuddles I'm getting and stuff like that. And then being like, all right, like I had my Netflix binging and restoration over the weekend and recharging. Now on this Monday, let me set my game plans and intentions for the day and for the week. And then on Tuesday, let me tap into that Marsian energy and take aligned and inspired action. This is just an example. However, it's like flow with this, work with yourself, honor your rhythms and flows, especially in this Cancer season. You don't have to feel bad or negative for your emotions and process. Rather, it's like honor it. Oh my God, look. We have the void as the next card following the boundaries. 48, the void. Retreat, rest, pause. And then we have after that white, purity and innocence. Notice how I said inner sense when I wanted to say innocence, but inner sense. Look at that, y'all. And we have the void. This is about taking the time. Ooh, stay really connected with your truth, with your integrity, with your purity. Honor your energy. Notice in the void space, that center, it's that Om, that sacred peace, the sacred energy. It's almost like the sacred water in those colors, like here with the warrior. There's something about here, it's like really getting to the core of you, and the core of you really is your diamond form. It's like your diamond, your worth, your worthiness. your amazingness, your treasure, your beauty, your radiance, your light, purity and innocence. We're going to keep the innocence as well as the card said, but I'm really loving the innocence that came out. Spirit is inviting. There's something about keeping an active and healthy returning to yourself through daily practices that bring you back into you, whether that's through yoga, through meditation, through, I don't know, exercising at the gym, through a sport, through walks in nature, through swimming, through viewing sunsets or sunrises, to being in your garden, to your ritual of making your tea or your coffee, your cooking, or with your ancestors. Like, there's so many different places and spaces and ways in which you can lovingly connect with yourself and go inward and take a moment for pause, a moment for retreating into yourself lovingly, a moment for, pardon me, for coming into yourself for some rest and nourishment and getting back into the true you and feeling the wings and the feathers of your angels. And before I did this channeling, yes, thank you, Spirit, they wanted me to say feathers may be coming up for you a lot in some way, shape, or form in your reality, emphasizing some particular resonance with their support and their presence as well as this message. We're going to get some tarot to bring this down to earth. These oracles really went in. Thank you, Holy Metatron. Spirit, how can we creatives, what tools, what wisdom, pardon me, does the tarot have for moving forward with our creative expression, creative embodiment? And around the time that I filmed this, it's just following essentially a Cancer new moon, and whatever intentions and rituals you set out around that time in alignment with this. Of course, this is a timeless message. However, if this finds you around a new moon or around where you did new moon intentions, basically just stay tuned for and stay aware of what the next full moon brings for you, what comes up. Especially if you feel like right now you're in a place where you're not fully feeling arisen or broken through the surface, is like by that next full moon, see what happens. How you're rejuvenated, how you're restored, and how you're re-empowered. Please and thank you, holiest tarot, holiest ancestors, holiest guide, holiest Gabriel, holiest Gabriel, holiest Gabriel, and holiest Serapis Day. Fourth ray of angelic diamond white light of purification and ascension. Please wash over us now across all time, space, and dimensions. Body, mind, soul, emotion, and spirit, all cells and DNA. Inviting wisdom. Thank you, Holy Spirit, and tarot. Wow! Ooh, we got Ten of Cups and Eight of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is basically on top of the Eight of Cups. Let's get a little bit more. Amazing emotional fulfillment and happiness. Yes! Okay, and the Ace of Pentacles on top of the Seven of Pentacles. Ooh, and I just got a goosebumps bump. Ooh, in bottom of the deck is Seven with the Chariot, and around the corner is the World. Ooh, okay, so, oh my god, and the Chariot's on top of the Sun. Told you Leo season, and I was about to start singing, I saw the sun, and I opened up my eyes, I saw the sun. Meow, 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 meow. Look at that. That was that Lionsgate, that sun, that Leo season. This Cancer to Leo season, Cancer to Leo season, Cancer to Leo season, Cancer to Leo season. Get into it. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Okay, the moon energy, ooh, and spirit fingers are talking, spirit fingers are talking, spirit fingers are talking. Big. The emotional fulfillment is here. It's now. It's in store. It's unfolding. Eyes on the prize. Eyes on the prize. Daily actions in alignment with this. Live your best life now as best as you can and allow it to get better and better day by day. And if some days, hey, maybe it may not feel as strong, not as prevalent, doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, like honor your feelings, but it doesn't matter in the sense of, hey, not every day is going to be the exact same. Recorrect, reprogram the mindset and not viewing the variety of days as failure. This is more so about reprogramming baseline, choosing to be more happy and noticing that you're making more consistent choices, both actively as well as passively, And your reality is reorienting with that and becoming more happy and higher vibrational over time. And it requires, excuse me, confirmation birth. I said the Ten of Cups was on top of the Eight of Cups. So it's requiring us to walk away, a walk, a walk, a walk away from emotions and situations that do not serve us. Empty cups, empty relationships, empty commitments, empty situations, empty context. Notice how I'm saying empty, empty, empty so much. Things that are just not giving. If it's not giving, maybe it's not for you. Gia Gun confirmation. So this moon, it's the warrior of light. And you know what a sacred warrior does? And remember how I said buck up earlier? Here's where that buck up energy is coming in. And it's not being rude. It's being lovingly real in the sense of being a warrior for yourself, showing up for yourself, showing up for your soul, showing up for your faith, showing up for your holiest spirit means you got to know, like, Confirmation maybe Texas Hold'em by Beyonce, even though admittedly that's one of the songs I listen to the least on the album and I don't even remember it that well. But I'm also thinking not just of her and Texas Hold'em. I'm thinking of like that country song, you gotta know when to fold them and you gotta know when to walk away, right? And then Kelly Clarkson, just walk away, like just walk away. Like there's certain things we're being asked to walk away from. As I also said earlier, some of it is a decrease, some of it's a total gig and gag. But either way, it's moving on like Maya. I'm moving on. Little flat. On. I'll be moving on. I'm so confused. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's mad songs coming through. Spirit's like, even if you're a little bit confused, move forward. Ooh, spirit fingers are talking. Like, notice they're like, ooh, now Mariah's like, how about you get the out? Yep, it's like get about your feelings. Get up out your feelings with this emotions card, this moon, and it's not in a rude way. It's like the new moon, the Cancer new moon is where we took the time, yes, spirit, to slow down, get into our feelings, reflect, feel the feel, slow down, rest. Now we're in the days, we're in this moment where it's like, all right, we've been in the feelings, we're acknowledging them, but hey, we've got to be on these daily habits. Like, we've got to be moving forward. We got to be going down the path. It's like, okay, you need a break, take a break, reset. Om, chanting, chanting. But notice how even in the void, it's the Om symbol, the Om. And notice how there's swirling energy, blue energy, throat chakra energy, creative expression energy, vibration. Spirit is saying, even in the stillness, at some point, you better get to chanting and and start to feel that vibration moving through you, and then start to move. And you know what, Bessie? Like, I'm even going like a cow, like, move. Like, even if you gotta go slow, like cow level, start to move. Start to move. There's times where you got to be like a cow in the pasture, just eating the grass, munch, munch, crunch, crunch. And then there's times where it's like, and then there's other times where it's like, hey girl, time to start making the milk. Time to start giving the goods. It's basically, it's like, you know, you right under the nose, itch, itch, confirmation. It's like, not for any, okay, I'm getting a message for those who can feel it just really briefly. It's like, especially those who are like, just really take it if it resonates. If anybody is thinking to get pregnant or something like that, and like, I know I don't have this anatomy, so I'm not an expert in this, but anybody who is capable of ovulating, being in a space where you can be more just in that zone of fertility, and you're wanting to capitalize off of that, whether for the conception of actual human life, or even if you want to use that time for your essentially adult sexual sensual manifestations energetic work or any combination of that, like there's an affirmation and confirmation here for you to really pay attention to your cycle and your timing with that and leverage, even if it's with self pleasure, right? Like this is not codependent upon a partner. Although this is an invitation if you engage with them, go for it. Um, it's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's like this Cancer season is really setting us up to like move through the emotions, move with the waves and start birthing and releasing what needs to come out to and through us. And doing so from a state of purity, of like really rocking who we are. And this doesn't mean rushing, because we had like an Ace of Pentacles on top of a Seven Pentacles that also came out. So, and I'm kind of taking Seven Pentacles first and the Ace of Pentacles in this way. It's like the Seven of Pentacles is acknowledging, like, hey, we understand, like, hey, maybe not everything has popped off yet on the physical level, on the tangible level. Maybe the finances haven't popped up. Maybe the opportunity or the book deal or the publishing hasn't fully come into form yet. When I see this card, the way Spirit has me interpreted is like, here's the things that are marinating and kind of in place. And yes, we do need to water our plants. We need to give them love and care, but we don't need to hover over them. At some point, leave them be. Go focus on something else. Go have some fun. Go take a nap, like rest, play. And also with that pentacle right there, it's like there's something. And remember how I said there's something right under our nose? I kept getting that itch. Then we also had the Ace of Pentacle on top of this as a gift. Aces for me are gifts and blessings coming from the universe. This is either a commitment and or opportunity coming through. And notice there's arches. Could be wedding, could be commitment in that regard. Itchy nose again. Itchy nose again. Committing relationship for some. This is also about, this is that pentacle that was right underneath, right under your nose. There's going to be incoming. This is why we're being guided to like continue moving forward with our feelings. It's because Spirit doesn't want us stuck, stuck 3 times, and the emotional ick of the past that could block us or distract us from the emotional abundance and fulfillment, dreams coming true in relationship and connection, family, community, tribe, love. Take what resonates, that is coming in and unfolding. And one way that can really help us continue moving forward and staying positive and staying abundant so that the blessing and fulfillment can come in is by focusing on either whatever. Like there's something about take the inspired action. Notice how they have me do that. Take the inspired actions that are really within reach, that are accessible to you, that are in alignment with your commitments. I really feel like for a lot of us, especially with the creative, like this message is for us. This is about honor the commitments we have made, such we've been invited to remake, reinvest in regards to our craft and to our purpose. And I just felt like a sound right above my crown on the roof, and almost like felt it right here. It's like you already have enough downloads and stuff that's come through your crown chakra. Essentially, it's like you already have enough homework assignments before you and actions you can be taken that are inspired and already have been downloaded to and through you. Take those baby step actions, move forward, build the habit, build the habit and set the daily boundaries and honor them. For me, the example that I'm giving with y'all is showing up and recording this Tarot Tuesday message and moving forward. Bottom of the deck with the Chariot is the progress. And notice, this person is really seated. And so are these sphinxes right now, the light and the dark, the masculine and feminine, the yin and the yang, the within and without, the above and below. It is on us. We can have victory. We can have progress. We can have success and fulfillment here, especially in this Cancer season. It is about that balance and that harmony, that temperance, and taking the daily actions that are in alignment with our health, our wealth, our wellness, our goals, and our faith. Take the time to show up for your commitments and your projects. And also, you are your own greatest commitment. So that's why I'm saying if you take certain days off, honor that. Pay yourself first. We're also saying honor the commitment so that you continue moving forward on the path. Because as you honor the commitments you made to yourself and your own abundance and garden, you're also going to continue moving forward to these beautiful arches of commitment, of fulfillment, of love, abundance, partnership, unity, connection, soul tribe, family, like whatever, all the above you're seeking to manifest. It was on top of the sun. The sun is about blessings, fulfillment, and abundance in a lot of ways. It automatically makes everything more positive that it touches and shines on, baby. Also, that birth, that child, that could also represent actual childbirth. Okay, so that whole message I had about ovulation and fertility for anybody who's wanting to be pregnant, like really tap into this energy. This cancer season is really, especially if you go into your activities of conception from an intentionally high vibrational place, energetically purified and reset place, then you could really call in and manifest some great things, whether it's actual child, a project, whatever you want to do, mix, like go for it. Go for it. Go for it. And with the around the corner card being the world, also the world can sometimes have a victory wreath around it. There may be some energy of movement and travel going on here for some. So anything related to travel and trips, especially in regards to the actualization of your dreams, of your craft, of your calling, of your career, your passion, whatever you're seeking to manifest and express, like if opportune, like of course pray for it, and check in with your holiest self first and foremost. However, there's opportunities for something with either travel or movement, getting you out of your house, out of your normal home base or studio. Please lean into that. Lean into connecting. Lean into networking. I'm getting. Show up. Yes, show up for the workshop. Show up for the opportunities. Um, get yourself in a high vibrational state as best you can before them, and show up and persevere. Like show up, even if you have to like persevere and kind of like put in some healthy effort. Go, go, show up. Especially with creatives, when we are seeking to express ourselves, we have to be able to be seen and felt and heard and witnessed in some way, shape, or form to often unlock the next layer and levels of doors. And we have to do so by showing up as our full authentic self and really like honoring ourselves fully in our commitments, and then going out into the world, shining, sharing, networking, communicating, moving forward. Like it's like we have to move onto the world like as if we are on this chariot, like not on high in like a bougie or rude way, but yes, with confidence, with knowing thyself, with being healthily balanced, knowing when to pause and when to move forward, when to act and when to listen. This is mastery, baby. This is about honoring the fact that you're in a season of mastery. And it doesn't have to be that deep or hyper complicated. Spirit is saying just focus on what you friggin' committed to this year and the projects and dreams that have really come through. And then really give yourself moments of reflecting, okay, like what emotions are holding me up or slowing me down? And how can I essentially release them? What activities can I focus on that will help me move through and beyond them? You are not bound by your previous version of self. Your joy and your fulfillment is here. Look at this high priest, intend and create. Here's that healthy masculine energy coming through. Intend and create. This is the commitment with that ace of pentacles I'm getting. And also with the chariot of moving forward. It's like, I'm going to get one more from this deck. Please and thank you, angels and ancestors, to clarify and encourage the collective. Two more that came through. Guardian angel, you are not alone. And the feathers confirmation, the angel's confirmation, and the shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gift. What am I saying, collective, with my creatives? Goosebumps, and I love you, and I'm getting really passionate, and I have been this whole thing. And literally intending create, create, create. And you're not alone. Sync up with your guides, sync up with your holiest self. When you need a moment to pause, to vibrate and chant, like humming is very good and calming for the nervous system and coming back into form and self, by the way. So there is a lot of emphasis on chanting as a practice we can take in addition to prayer. Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. Bottom of the deck is Hunter, track down your fears and desires. And this is the bottom of the deck with the Sacred Warrior, the Hunter and that warrior energy. Babes, do it. Yeah, we're getting a lot of this masculine energy. Notice how it's this balance of it's grounded in the Cancerian feminine. It's grounded in these moments of emotional, reflective, and work. And then the masculine is coming into support. And it's a masculine that is supporting us through focusing and refocusing us upon our dreams and the dreams we've committed to. And what is the pentacle? What is the action step? Literally, what is the step right beneath us that we can take to move a little bit further on the path, to move a little bit further towards the goal, towards the dream? The universe is here. The guardian angels, they're giving us the pentacles. They're giving us the resource. We just have to show up. We just have to show out. We have to share, unveil your gifts. And usually you don't have to be perfect. Confirmation birth. Part of my fear is just to continue using myself as the. I love how it's on top of the shield maiden. What the was I saying? Pardon me, but like about the masculine and feminine. On top of the shield maiden, make plans and focus. And the high priest, intend and create. To make plans and focus. Track down your fears and desires. Do your thing. You are balanced. You are an alchemist. You know when to swing the pendulum into the feminine and when to go into your masculine, and how to leverage essentially the balance at the same time with the energies so that the chariot move forward, so that the chariot moves, forward. Leverage the fullness of this moon energy, of this Cancerian energy, the fullness of the divine feminine, dark and light. And you may have seen a lot of people in the collective talking about that. I don't need to be redundant. Something about learning how to shine in the fullness as the feminine, like I was getting earlier with that emotional and personal self, so that as when we cross over into the Solarian, the solar, and the Leo, the masculine season, and that kind of light, that kind of performance, that kind of stage opens up for us. We are stepping onto it because we have already stepped onto it and owned it within ourselves emotionally, within our heart space, within our own emotional and energetic world and realms and our personal realities. It's like embody this and embrace this in your own personal world and truth and landscape in your moon. And for those of y'all who are really seeking to do this, you may want to look up your moon sign and leverage the power and guidance and wisdom and the tools that your moon sign can offer you at this time. Because by Leo season is going to provide us with a platform, with a stage in which we really can unveil our gifts next layer and level. However, if we have not done so from a place of fullness and healthy righteousness and embodiment in and of ourselves, it's not to say that we won't step on that stage, that we won't shine. I feel as though it's just saying we may have a little bit more. It's kind of like this. I'm getting a vibe of we may be more susceptible to outside influences and energies, like attempting to play us, and some may be negative outright, some may be absent-mindedly, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody who wants to get the most out of us is inherently doing us in a negative way, right? Like, how many of us has ever met somebody in the life where you just feel like they really, I don't know, are interested in you or your gift or your talent or your personality, your presence, whatever, and you feel like they want a lot of you, and it's not that you feel like they're trying to screw you over, but you just feel like it's a lot, right? Albeit from an innocent place. Spirit is saying is like, we're being asked to be in the fullness of who we are and in our boundaries in this season, in this Cancerian season. Thank you, Spirit, in this now. So that as we step into Leo season, we've already got the boundaries. Not only do we have the boundaries and practices and habits in place, we also have, from all this beautiful, loving, emotional time and cultivation of our inner world landscape and stage, we've essentially spent so much time in our visualizations, in our imagination, in our manifestations energetically, that by the time they drop more physically, we really are going to be ready to shine on them. It's not to say that it won't pleasantly surprise us and shock and awe us. Yes, it will, because you know the Spirit. Well, I invite you to know and choose to believe that your guides in Holy Spirit, Holy Self, are going to bless you in ways that you could only imagine. We can only imagine, and so much more. 4-4 on the clock. We're going to get some angels, saints, and angels cards to kind of seal this in and bring this in. Be ready. Be ready. This Lionsgate, this Leo season is a very, very amazing time upcoming. And I'm not trying to future trip. It's simply this Cancer season is wanting us to be so nurtured, so nourished, so healed, and so playful and so expressive already from the emotional place that when we shift into the fire of Leo season and letting our soul blaze forward and shine outward, we do so from a healed heart, not from a heavy heart. And we do so from a heart that's healthily moved on and moved forward rather than from a heart space that's ran away and fled. There's a different energy of when we move on from a state of peace, of, of peace and true pleasure in choosing of self versus when we're maybe running away from something in panic or fear. And there is this consistent balance of the solar and lunar energies and being the discernment and being the bridge in between. Because notice that triangle. So sun, moon, and then this discerning eye. Balancing your masculine and feminine, that master level, that alchemical level, that inner and outer. Embracing the fullness of every invitation of this Cancerian season, especially the more lunar and feminine vibes, not exclusively, predominantly. However, doing so in a way that's in a loving union and marriage within yourself, so that as we move closer to Leo season energies and solar vibes and invitations, it comes from a fully satisfied and heard and listened to and integrated feminine. Please and thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Saints and Angels. Faith, leap of faith, leap of faith. This is about moving forward in faith, taking actions in alignment with your faith. When the moment comes, leaping forward in faith, leaping into yourself, unveiling your gifts. Peaceful in the Holy Spirit. This is oh my God, one of the highest cards in this deck. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Holy Spirit. I love you so much. Choose peace. Holy Spirit is here. Blessings are unfolding. Faith over fear, faith over fear, faith over fear. Get another card. One more, please, and thank you, Holy Spirit. Yes, because as you really lean into your emotional world in this Cancer season of this emotional reconciliation, and I keep getting visualization and loving on yourself, loving yourself, really taking the steps to cultivate and embody and experience the emotional environment and landscape you want. Choose peace and cultivate peace. And view peace as an important part of your routine, of your wellness, of your life and lifestyle, of your way of being. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. You know, she's playing a harp, musicians, I mean, all of us creatives. It's like CCIA keeps coming up. Consistent, committed, and perfect action. Thank you, Nat. Thank you, FTP. Show up, show up, show up for the opportunities, for the classes, for the workshops, for the practice sessions. Put inspired action blocks on your calendar. I started doing that. And even though I may not always show up like in that time slot, I'm switching the time slot and getting to it later in the day. I'm showing up more and more for my business and habits. And I'm allowing myself to set realistic goals that I can also grow with and expand as I build up the demonstrable consistency over time. Practice your gifts and abilities. No more stifling and holding back your sound. No more sitting still. Confirmation bird. And we have sign from above, bottom of the deck, and this pink rose. Pink roses have been coming up a lot. Roses and pink roses have been coming up a lot today slash yesterday. Confirmation itch of the crown. So you may really be seeing roses in particular and pinks as signs, encouragements. Listen to your intuition, follow your intuition, go in the direction of your instincts and intuition. Like, this is not the time. Like, I'm not feeling. I'm honest with y'all. Like, if you stuck with me throughout this reading and this one under the nose again, itch for creatives, authors, artists, dancers, singers, publishers, ooh, confirmation, like anyone of creative expression, productivity, output, creators and creatrixes. This is your message. This is not the moment about quitting. This is not the time to quit. This is about taking the inspired actions because you have enough things that you know you could be doing, even baseline, to build up the consistency, honor the goal that you've set. This is about being the balanced and healthy self and loving self that you are and you want to be. Taking the time to practice your craft, to take the next step in regards, especially in regards to putting your talent out there. So for some, that may even be an entrepreneurial step in particular. Taking the time to rest, taking the time to feed yourself for nutrition, hydration. I'm hearing that Pamper song from back in the day. You're a big girl now. It's like we're grown, y'all. Like we're at the next level of maturity where our life is multidimensional. Our life is multi-passionate. So stop fighting against ourselves with it. Embrace it and do what it takes as best as you can, as best as you can daily, and understand each day is going to look a bit different. Some days you may move 5 steps ahead. Some days you may move 10. Some days you may not move any steps ahead because you realize, like, wow, I really got to rest. My ankles are super swollen, and I need to just take the time to drink water and nourish myself, put my feet up, slow down, and also maybe reflect on all of the journey and the wisdom that's occurred thus far and integrate while I rest. And maybe today I want to make a couple steps forward and I want to just take some time for pure joy, pure pleasure, pure fun. Maybe even for just pure curiosity and exploration so that I can get the next layer and level of inspiration because maybe I'm feeling a little bit dry and I've done all the inspired action steps that can come to me and maybe no more are there and that's the time to retreat, pause and go back into the void space and allow the creative juices to start flowing and vibrating again to maybe purify my energy from maybe the last round of activities because as I was experimenting, as I was exploring, as I was trying things, I got my hands a little dirty and now I need to take a moment to cleanse and purify them again. But I'm not mad that I got my hands dirty because I got my hands in the clay. I was being an artist, playing with the clay, molding with the clay. And now I put the 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 mug I made into the kiln, and while it's in the kiln, like maybe I'm gonna let it cook and heat for a bit. Let me wash my hands for a second while it cooks, set it and give it its moment. And now I was like, oh, okay, now it's time to take it out of the oven, but now I need to let it and give it time to cool, appreciate it, but then give it its moment to set, and then come back and reflect on it and see, like, how did that cup turn out? How do I like it? Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't love this version of the cup. Am I going to give up on cups completely? Or am I going to revise it? Am I going to make a new one and reshape things? Am I going to tweak things? Enjoy this process and journey with your path and with your life. That is what we're being guided to do and continue to showcase. And don't be afraid to show with that committed, consistent, and perfect action is also don't hide the fact that we're working on making cups now. Show the first one. Document the journey. Let people see what does the first draft look like versus how it's progressing along the way. And I'm not saying you have to spill all your prototypes and the tea that you are guided to keep, top secret. Y'all can use your discernment here with what you're being guided to share versus what you keep to yourself. There is some layer and level though of opening up and vibrating out and sharing more and more, not inherently of pressuring volume or quantity, but more and more in the consistency of you showing up for your craft, for your practice, for your talent. And showing up for your craft, practice, and talent is the mix of nourishing yourself, literally practicing the talent or craft at hand, and then also giving yourself options to either perform or produce in alignment with that practice or craft, and letting it be received upon wherever spirit is guiding you. And I just saw 5444 on the timer. Yes, 5444. The change is nigh. The change is now. And the angels, the holiest angels, the ones who have been guiding me throughout this reading alongside the ancestors, are here supporting and uplifting it. Put it out there with trust. The Holy Spirit here is one of the highest and strongest cards, and I have it on top of our Guardian Angel card. So the layer and level of support is high level divine, big numbers divine, and guess who's popping out here and shining, wanting to be seen? Holiest Michael with confidence, and another sword raised in truth. Another sword. We have both swords. We have the sword of Michael and the sword of Metatron here, and really the sword being activated by your holiest self through Metatron. It's the sword of the holiest self of that moon energy, so that by the solar season it can shine next layer and level in truth and being witnessed. Move forward with confidence. Also more of those blue and purple colors coming out a lot. Cancer season, as we close out this channeled message and seal it in, Cancer season is essentially all the space where you're getting to do all of the rehearsals, all the practicing on stage, and then being backstage. So that by the time Leo season comes, you can take all of that rehearsal, like that with that embodiment, that with that message I was saying, like us shining for ourselves. Like it's like all the rehearsals, right? And remember how I said you can even have your inner circle, inner team, like you don't have to be totally isolated. It's like if you're the actor, you're the performer, right? You have your cast and your crew are gonna see you during rehearsal. They're gonna see you before opening night for the quote unquote greater public. But they're the chosen ones who get to see you in that state of being. But first and foremost, this is for you to see you and grow in you in this version of you. Enjoy this moment. Show up for all the opportunities for rehearsal, for practice. Be on time. And you know what? Fuck it if you're late. Pardon me. But if you're even running late, go and show up. There are moments lately where I have actively had to overcome spirits of procrastination, seeking to make me tired and slow me down from showing up for opportunities in alignment with my destiny and my dreams being fulfilled. And I've had to like be like, no, I'm showing up for this aligned opportunity. I know my spirit and spirit is like show up and go. So it's like trust. If you do that, you shall be beautifully rewarded. And Spirit is having us in this Cancer season learn how do we show up for ourselves and not get caught up too much in a comfort zone. How do we leverage the comfort we need without becoming the comfort we don't escape? Show up for yourself and trust that this rehearsal season shall be handsomely and richly rewarded and beautifully experienced for a lovely show and performance in Leo season. And we are going to shine on new layers and levels and be received in community in bright and shiny, fulfilling and emotional ways. It's just in order to feel the fullness of this and fully get here, fully embrace it, we've got to do that walking away and shining, walking our path of it, authenticity and integrity, and moving forward in faith, following our faith, our guidance, and trusting, remaining confident. We got this. Like everything is saying, we've got this. We have the victory is in store and in sight. It really is about us showing up and following our guidance and being our alchemists and doing the work that we're guided to do and giving ourselves the grace and remembering like, hey, we can always get back to it whenever we're ready, whenever we want to. I'm gonna leave it there. This has felt like a full channeling and I'm getting tired. And I just love and appreciate you all so much. Comment down below and let me know if this is resonating with you at all, because I want to check in with the collective and see who else is with it, so that we can get ready for this upcoming Lionsgate and Leo season. And once again, I'm Dil Divine, your friendly neighborhood queer muse, oracle, and soul coach. And if you want a private reading, book one with me at abundantinsights.net. If you want an energy calibration to remove blockages and barriers, also feel free to reach out and contact me. Links will also be in the description box down below. And I'm just wishing y'all a beautiful now and however this essentially, I want to say implementation period comes for you after this reading. And always feel free to comment down below about what areas in which you want to melt away and release more resistance and see you can help set the topic of the next Tarot Tuesday. I'm sending you so much love, abundance, and joy. And with this message, I sign out and I will see you very soon.